Alright, so today's video looks a little different, but what we're going over today is what needs to be done to the Z when it actually gets here. So I'm just going to write out on this board here what needs to be done, and let you know what we're going over, stuff like that. Just give you the full in-depth detail on what is going on. So what we're going to do is write out Datsun 240Z build. Like so. So now we know what is actually going to be on this board, and I can put it up over there, which I'll show you afterwards. But overall, this is just what needs to be done to the Z when it gets here. So obviously step one is get it here. So shortly it will be here, and then we can move on with the process, which number two will be putting it into a safe location, which is most likely on the side of my house. Pretty straightforward, nothing crazy yet. Number three, this will be going over the whole car. So like what the Z actually looks like. So making sure nothing's too rough, and if it is, we'll fix it up. So going over the Z. Four, we'll most likely be sanding it here. So sanding the Z. Number five, well, we have some other things to do, nothing too crazy still. But once the sanding is done, we can mock up the spoiler. So this is just like taping it up and showing you what it would look like once it is installed, just to get a general idea of what it will look like. Number six will be actually installing the spoiler, as it needs to be installed before it gets sent off to paint. Which sanding will be a big process, but we'll definitely get through it and get all this sorted out. So that way we can, at the end, send it off to paint. But before we send it off to paint, because we're very close to that step, but before we get there and it's in the right condition to be sent off to paint, we're going to need some other few things to get done. So we're going to have to pick up an engine hoist. So pick up engine hoist. And so this is so that way we can pull the engine and the transmission. So that could be our next step. Remove engine and trans. So now once those things are out of the car, we're going to have obviously an empty shell on wheels, minus the interior being in the car, which is fine. So then once that's all there, we need to get the car picked up. Either that or we'll trailer it ourselves. So I'd rewrite it, but here. Trailer the car. So nothing too crazy, nothing too bad. This trailering the car, it will send it off to paint. So then get painted, which the color is already chosen. Some of you already know, some of you don't. If you don't know, then guess you'll have to wait and find out. Then once the car is done being painted, obviously we need to trailer the car home. Or if it's already set up, then we can skip this step, and then we can, well, not necessarily, we need to trailer the car home first, no matter what, because then we have to put the engine and trans back in. This way, when we do send it off to get wired and make the car run, obviously it all needs to be hooked up, the engine and transmission as well. And then we will trailer to shop, and at the shop the car will get wired, so all the lights, stuff like that will work, engine and ECU to make it run, and stuff like that. Nothing crazy. It's a long process and it's going to take some time, but when it is done, we can drive to the shop and the best part about this is and drive Z home. So this is our ultimate goal, is to drive the Z home, because then that means the car is done, it's all ready, and it'll be in my possession, and it'll drive and run. It'll be where exactly we need it to be. So after that, the final step is just making sure that everything is bolted up. And just overall making sure everything is proper, how it needs to be, making sure there's no lack of oil or anything like that, all the fluids are in the right amount, and everything is running properly, which would be the best thing for the car, as obviously we need it to not break down or anything like that. And if it does break down, then we'll get those problems sorted out. And there's other like minor steps within this, such as after we pull the engine and trans while the car is at paint, we will be detailing and like cleaning up the engine, replacing anything that needs to be replaced, just making sure everything looks good and is ready for when it actually gets to the shop. So that way when the Z is done, everything is proper, just how it needs to be. And yeah, that's about everything that needs to be done for the Z in a generic sense. Just overall general ideas. So I hope you're as excited as I am for this car. I know there's a lot to be done, but I'm ready to take it head on and get everything figured out. And I'm glad you guys are all here to join me on this journey. Thank you very much, and I will show you where this board will be, and then that will conclude the video. So what we're going to do is move this board to somewhere that I would like it to be in order to see everything. So now when I walk in my room, I can come over here, look at the board, I can cross off things that are already done, and know where I'm at in the process of the build. So that'll be nice to have. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.